It's Thanksgiving weekend. I'm down to my last 1,000 watt hours of power. Both my generators are dead, solar's weak, and I still need enough energy to breathe through the night. Welcome to life off-grid, where redundancy isn't optional. This is going to be one of the most serious videos that I've made to date. We're talking about redundancy. Now, that may sound a little boring, but up here at the cabin, redundancy isn't just important, it can mean survival. Holy crap. It's what keeps the lights on, keeps the coffee brewing, and in my case, keeps my CPAP machine running so I can actually breathe through the night. So yeah, pretty serious. I've got 5 important points to make about redundancy, including one about this comment.
You just sell too much crap. Would be nice if you tried not to be funny too.
This is probably the least serious of the bunch, and we'll deal with this one later. This video is going to be completely serious, no humor whatsoever. Seriously. So here's the thing about living off-grid. It's not if things break, it's when. A few weeks back, my Honda EU 2200i, which is my main generator, broke the starter cord. Now, that's a serious machine, but when you're out here in the woods, it's kind of like your lifeline just snapped. Luckily, I had a backup, a cheap little generator that I hadn't started in years, but it fired up, and that backup saved my day. So that's redundancy in action. It doesn't need to be fancy, it just needs to be there when you need it. Now, let's talk solar. Everyone loves to say, just go solar, man, add more panels, more panels. Well, it isn't always that easy. If you're a regular viewer of my channel, you've seen my cabin, you see how surrounded by trees I am. Trees, shade, clouds, solar panels don't always cooperate. That's why I've split my power systems. I have different panels, different power stations, different batteries, different storage solutions. So if one thing's not charging, the others probably are. Take this weekend, for example. It's Thanksgiving weekend here in Canada, and I'm living proof of how redundancy works. So what happened is I got up here, didn't have much sun all weekend, and basically depleted my power over the first 2.5 days. And both of my generators have now snapped their starter cords. But I've got my eco-worthy 100 amp hour battery fully charged, and without it, you wouldn't actually be watching this video because I'd have no power left to create it. So I'm down to my last day. Thankfully, that eco-worthy saved my butt. Point 3, power isn't the only thing that needs to have a backup plan. Redundancy isn't just about batteries, it's about heat, it's about water, and it's about food. You need a plan B, and sometimes you need a plan C for every major system. If your main heat source fails, what are you gonna do? I have several means of heating this cabin. In the winter, pretty much I need to have the wood stove going. Without it, I'm gonna have some issues. But I've got propane backup, electric, kerosene. Good to spread those heat sources around because you just never know. In the end, I always have kaya and a warm blanket to wrap up in, but not in the dead of winter. I come up here to the cabin specifically for peace of mind, and that's what redundancy gives me. Because when you're off-grid, there's nobody coming for you. You're off in the woods alone. I've had that experience. I've told my story in an earlier video a few months back where I did have a serious accident, and my layers of redundancy, basically my backup plans, worked. They were put into action, they were put to the test, and I survived. I'm here to tell you about it. So if you're living off-grid or you're thinking about it, build in redundancy, backup heat, backup power, backup plans, and maybe a backup sense of humor. Now let's talk about a different kind of redundancy. This is an important one. There's always going to be some folks who leave a negative comment on your videos, and I'm fine with that. I love a good debate. But there's no redundancy in a comment like, the EcoFlow is garbage, or that system sucks. I appreciate your passion. Again, I appreciate your input, but just leave at least a little bit of an explanation as to why you're not happy with, put said product here. I always encourage comments, but let's keep mental redundancy in the comment section. See how I tried to tie all of that in there? And speaking of learning, somebody recently commented on a video that I was trying too hard to be funny. So you're 100% right. That's why this video is completely serious. There's no messing around. I'm totally serious. Maybe the next one.
You just sell too much crap.
I am not trying to sell anything. I do collaborations with companies from time to time when I think it's a good fit for the channel and when I think it's going to be helpful for you, for viewers out there. Because if you can't laugh a little bit when both your generators fail on Thanksgiving weekend, you're going to have a rough time out here. Happy off-gridding.
Oh.